Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you are not new. Today we're going to be filming a luxury video. I'm using my mic really close today, so I hope that you guys cannot hear the background noise as much. I know it's going to be kind of annoying, but I don't have any other time to film, and I really want to get these videos out for you guys just because I know that a lot of you have been asking for them, so this is just what it has to be. But today's video topic is going to be on tips and tricks on luxury purchases and how to purchase luxury goods. Now, I know a lot of people, you know, when you think of buying luxury items, you're just like, oh my God, I cannot even begin to fathom how people can spend like thousands of dollars on purses or, you know, hundreds of dollars on SLGs or wallets and things like that, when you can easily go to like, you know, a lower end store like, you know, Kate Spade or Coach or any of those stores and get something a lot cheaper. Or you can even go to Target and just, you know, get a little card case and call it a day. So I do understand how a lot of people can think that way, and at first I was very intimidated when it came to purchasing luxury goods. I didn't know where to start, I didn't know what to do, and so I just kind of want to give you guys my tips and tricks on what I did to be able to afford these things, because before I was just like, oh my God, like I'm never going to be able to have a Louis Vuitton bag, I'm never going to be able to own anything Chanel and stuff. And you know, I was, you know, it's LA, like everybody has luxury goods, and of course you want like a really nice piece here and there, and it's really nice to have it and wear it around, but ultimately I think that you have to buy your items not for others but for yourself. So that is tip number one. Definitely not the most important tip, but one of the tips that you have to take into consideration, so I will also mention that later. But the first one is never use a credit card. Now, I say this, if you cannot buy it twice, do not buy it. And I also think, you know, if you put something on a credit card and you cannot pay it off by the end of the month, do not buy it. I just feel like if you don't have the money to purchase something, do not buy it, because you are pressured from what you see online, from what other people are posting. I just don't think it's worth it, to be honest, and it's not worth going into debt for. I would never want to go into debt over a luxury good. I just think it's so ridiculous, and I know people that have done it. I know people who have put things on credit cards so they can get a higher, you know, a higher rank in a credit card company, such as Amex. And I have an Amex. I have an Amex Platinum, and I actually didn't do that. I did mine, you know, the regular way, pay your bills or whatever with your credit card and then pay it off, just to kind of help build your credit. So I was able to get an Amex through that, and I also have one through my business, through my work. That is my number one tip, is to never use a credit card. But of course, you know, there are certain circumstances that I think can be the exception. Number one is when you are looking at a piece, save for the piece that you really want. Don't settle for something just because you have the money for a different item. Don't look at other things just because you think, oh, I'm never going to be able to afford this item, it's too much, it's way out of my budget. Keep saving, because you will regret if you buy something else as opposed to buying the item that you actually wanted. So I definitely recommend to save for the item that you want. Don't settle for anything else. Don't settle for the pre-loved market. If you really want the luxury experience and you want to go in stores, you want to be treated well, you want to have, you know, an account with the luxury house. So I definitely recommend that you save for your very first item and get it in stores, whether, you know, it be a limited edition piece or like a super classic piece. There's nothing wrong with either or. Number two is PayPal payment plans. So My Barbie's Closet offers this, and I highly recommend this if you guys feel like, you know, you can't afford to buy the luxury good. If you want to treat it as a payment every month, then I definitely think that it can help you as far as attaining this luxury piece that you're looking for or that you've always wanted. I think that that's a route to also look into. Number three is check pre-loved sites. You also want to compare. If it's a Damier Ebene item, I do recommend to go on the pre-loved website if it's something that you feel like will be cheaper on the pre-loved website, because Damier Ebene doesn't show wear as much, whereas I feel like Monogram does show a lot of wear. And I feel like you want to create your own story with a Monogram piece as opposed to taking someone else's story and what the bag has been through and then, you know, trying to make something else out of it. I just feel like it's not as personal. So I highly recommend to look on the pre-loved website for like Damier Ebene pieces, or, you know, vernis pieces, or the kind of epi leather pieces. They do have pieces like those on the pre-loved market. If that's something that you guys are looking for, I highly recommend to do that. Number four, I said to check consignment stores. So eBay, I like the store Brandoff. It's a Japanese-based brand, and they do authenticate the items, and if you want to, you can also send the pictures of the item to an authentication website and they will authenticate the item for you. So you don't have to sit there wondering, oh, is this item real? Is it, you know, fake? Or, you know, did I get ripped off and things like that. So I highly recommend to do the authentication yourself, because I definitely think that it will kind of put your mind at ease. And these are people that are really experienced as far as the like luxury, you know, luxury history goes, and I think that they really do study pieces and they really know their stuff. So I highly recommend to use an authentication website if you guys are kind of feeling a little bit weary or iffy based on a piece. So yes, number 5, check for sales. So I say check for sales because if you are looking for, you know, Balenciaga, Givenchy, Gucci, Saint Laurent, Chloe, Prada, Lowell, the brand Lowell, I think they have like a puzzle bag, MCM, Valentino, Burberry, Coach, Salvatore Ferragamo, all of these brands are at not at Coach, all of these brands are at Nordstrom or Saks or Bloomingdale's or Neiman Marcus, and all of these websites almost always have sales throughout the year. So if you guys are looking for a piece that from one of these luxury houses, then I definitely recommend to wait for one of these sales and definitely check it out and see if they have the item that you're looking for on sale. I know that, I think it's Saks, they always have Saint Laurent bags on sale. They always do, so I do not recommend to buy them full price. I think that buying them full price is a little silly just because, like I said, they are always on sale, and you can also find them on consignment stores and they still look brand new. Saint Laurent is a brand that I think that you don't have to go full price with, especially since the resale value isn't as good. But if you don't really care about resale value and you just want to enjoy an item and buy a piece because you love it, then by all means, you know, just buy it brand new, do whatever you want. You know what route you want to take already, so obviously you know, take that route. But I do recommend, you know, so this goes into my next one. I want to say number 6. Basically just think about the resale value. If you are not purchasing to, you know, eventually resell in the future, then don't take this tip into consideration. But obviously if you do want to resell your items, then definitely buy a classic piece. Classic pieces are always really good for reselling just because they are always in demand. A fashion house that I do think is not worth purchasing from at all actually is probably Gucci. I do like their shoes, and I think that shoes, you know, it's a personal thing. You're kind of the only person that wears your shoes, but I think bags can definitely be handed off, bags can be sold. I just don't think that the resale value for that fashion house is good by any means, and I don't think that it's worth it to buy something from there, especially because it is such a trendy brand right now. And I do know that Gucci has obviously been around for years and years and years, and I do know that, you know, they have made a name for themselves. They are one of the biggest fashion houses out there, but I just don't think that the route that they're taking right now, as far as their Marmont collection, their like, you know, that whole line just really made it like fall to it was just really stagnant, and I feel like it just wasn't worth it. Nothing from that line was worth it. I don't think that their camera bag was even, like, I thought their camera bag was cute, and I did see a lot of people with it, and it is a very affordable item, but I just feel like with the whole Marmont collection, it was just kind of so redundant and, you know, a little ridiculous. I think that that's what made a lot of people attracted to the brand, which I do know that they took a younger approach to it, and it did work for them. They did make a lot of sales within the past 2-3 years, but I personally just feel like Gucci is not a brand that I want to see anymore. Gucci is just, you know, like, just buy girl, buy. But definitely don't be offended by this. If you guys are interested in Gucci and if you like the brand, then definitely, you know, stick with it. Don't, you know, deter from, you know, your own opinions and, you know, your likings just because I'm saying it in this video. But when you are buying an item, if you're thinking about reselling it and you want to eventually invest that money into something else, I highly recommend to invest in or put your money into Louis Vuitton or Chanel, because those are two of the fashion houses that really hold their value as far as, you know, their classic pieces go, as well as I'm sure Hermes holds their value with their Birkins and everything, but I think that, you know, that's just not my level right now. So yeah, I highly recommend to do that. And Louis Vuitton is just such a classic brand, and I do feel like, you know, when the Vachetta wears and everything, obviously you're not going to get as much money as you're probably hoping for, but they also do repair Vachetta, so you can get it replaced. You can get glazing replaced on your pieces to make them look brand new after you've worn them and you decide, you know, you want to sell them. If that's the case, you can get the items repaired. So I do really like that about Louis Vuitton, and I do like that they do repair their items. I think that, you know, it just keeps it looking fresh and new, and that's just, Louis Vuitton I think is definitely one of my favorite fashion houses, just because most of their items are affordable, and I just really love their classic pieces. It's definitely a brand that I'm going to stick by time and time again, and I just think their pieces are really classic and timeless. And so yeah, that's just my opinion on that. So tip number 7 or 6, I'm honestly not sure what number we're on, but If you just want to experience the fashion house, start off with an SLG. If you're not sure which fashion house to go to, maybe get a cosmetic case from Louis Vuitton, maybe get a card case from Chanel, maybe get a coin purse from Hermes, or, you know, things like that. I think that's a wonderful way to kind of get to know the fashion house, get to know how the leather wears and everything. Obviously for wallet and card cases, they are going to wear a lot faster just because you're using them every day, so just take that into consideration. But you know, if you get a catch-all and stuff, I think that that's a perfect way to experience the fashion house and really decide on what item you really want to put, you know, most of the chunk of your money into. So let's say I had $2,000, you know, and I wanted to get a Speedy B 25, and you know, I'm not really sure how the item's gonna wear. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna like canvas or not. So what I would do is I would buy, you know, a cosmetic case. You get the vachetta and you get the monogram print, and you can decide whether or not you want to buy the item, you want to buy the purse, or, you know, if it's a Dami Ibin, you can get, you know, the card case, or you can get the key ring, the 6-ring key holder, and it's only like 250 bucks. I think their items are really affordable, and I say affordable really loosely just because obviously not everyone has $250 to spend on a, you know, a key clay. But I just feel like, you know, if you are, this is like for people who are like looking for luxury items and want to start investing, I definitely think that that is a really good way to start and to kind of get a taste of the luxury house and decide whether you want canvas, whether you want leather, whether you want, you know, a different kind of like rare leather from Hermes, or, you know, I'm not mentioning Gucci just because I don't think that you should invest your money in there or even spend your money there. Each to their own, obviously. So just take that into consideration while I'm talking about these things and these fashion houses. But yeah, I think that that's a really good way to kind of get to know the brand and everything. And so now I want to talk about why I decided to start investing my money into luxury goods and so on and so forth. So I did write everything down. Okay, so why I started to invest in luxury goods. I think the sustainability, they last really long. Like I said, you can get the items repaired. If I got something from Walmart and my zipper just stopped working, then they're just going to say buy a new one. And if it's a plastic case, then I will feel really guilty about that just because, you know, there's a lot of pollution and everything in the ocean, and it's just, you know, global warming, climate change is real. And so I wanted to stop. I was always buying, you know, little cosmetic pouches here and there, and I was just kind of, you know, only interested in, you know, what was, as I was saying, I was only interested in, you know, getting what was trendy and getting like trendy little bags and stuff. And you know, when it was summertime, I would get like a new summer like cosmetic case and stuff, and I was just kind of tired of doing that. It was just so wasteful. I don't know where all of those bags went. I think I definitely donated them or threw them away. I'm not really sure, but it was definitely such a waste of money, and I just got tired of doing that. I was getting some with lips on them just, you know, for my lipsticks, and then, you know, another one, and just I just kept accumulating so many of them that I just thought, okay, this is ridiculous. Like, I cannot do this anymore. And then another one is, like I said, longevity. You know, how long the pieces last. These canvas pieces and leather pieces last for years and years and years, and they more so often than not keep their structure based on what leather it is, whether it's canvas or not, whether it is, you know, a really durable leather. I definitely think that these items really last a long time, and you even see pieces that, you know, are handed down from generation to generation. So I definitely think that it's a good idea to start buying them. I said I created a lot of waste by buying makeup bags over and over, which was also true. I never had any nice things. Now, when I say that, I mean not that my lifestyle isn't great or anything. I just felt like, you know, everyone, like I mentioned, everyone has Louis Vuitton, everyone has luxury goods, and I just thought to myself, like, damn, why don't I have any of those things? And I thought, like, I always told myself, you know, if only one day I could, you know, afford one of those pieces, and I could, but I just wasn't looking at where I was spending my money and what I was doing to just waste my money nonchalantly. So I changed that. I was envious of people that had, you know, luxury goods. I would go online and I would see people do what's in my bags and everything, and I just thought, wow, like, if only I could have one of those purses. And I'm sure a lot of people have, you know, felt that way too when they looked at my videos, because that's definitely how I felt when I looked at other people's what's in my bags and stuff, and I just thought, wow, I could never afford one of those. But, you know, ultimately you just have to decide where you want to spend your money and what you're constantly buying over and over again that's not even worth it, or, you know, just little things when you go to the store, just don't buy it. So save that money and put it into a luxury item. I also made changes to my diet and where I was investing my money. I was spending a lot of money on food and eating out, and I went out with my coworkers all the time, and I would always, you know, go out to eat. I would treat them. I would drink a lot. I think in 2016 I put almost like $3,000 towards a very vintage bottles of champagne, and I don't regret it at all, honestly, because I love champagne and I'm very particular about the taste and which ones I like and which ones I don't. So I did invest a lot of money into that, and then after I did that, I thought to myself, like, wow, I'm so stupid. Like, I could have had 2 purses, or, you know, 2 purses and a wallet, or, you know, SLGs and things like that. And so, you know, I just kind of thought like it was, at the time I thought it was stupid, but now that I'm looking at it, my bottles are worth a lot more, so I'm happy about it. But, you know, at the time I was kind of like iffy and going back and forth on what I should do with my money. The items last a lot longer. I did mention that. You do get a piece of, it says, I said piece of happiness, as in luxury does bring me joy because I've worked hard for everything I have. And I say that it brings me joy because I do feel very excited when I'm able to buy an item. I do feel very fulfilled, and I feel very content because I did work for this item. I worked very hard. I work so many hours now because we just have so much work to do. And yeah, I've been working a lot, and you know, I used to feel guilty for buying myself really nice things, and now I don't, because I know that I deserve it and I know that I work hard for everything that I have, aside from obviously the purse that my boyfriend bought me. But other than that, I have worked hard for everything that I have, for my clothes, for my lifestyle, for my shoes. And I say lifestyle because it really takes a big part in it. You know, I live right across the street from the ocean, and we're always going into Malibu. We live in West LA, probably one of the most expensive places. I definitely think that LA is, you know, a lot of people come here and they say it's very expensive to live here, and I do agree, but I also have to budget that into, you know, my work life and everything like that. So when I say that I do get joy from buying a piece, it's because I know that I worked very hard for it, and I know that all those long hours and everything, you know, this is the life that I chose. And so I'm very grateful to continue to be able to live the way that I do and also still be able to buy luxury items. The next, the next one I just said, I never use credit cards for the reason that I told you guys earlier. I just don't believe in it. I don't think that you should use credit cards to buy luxury items. People can get carried away. They'll think, okay, I have $5,000 to spend on this credit card, so why not max it out? You know, I can just make payments on it every month. But then when you have that mentality, you get addicted to it, because I know that I was definitely addicted to buying luxury goods. And then I just kind of, you know, stopped and just started spending money somewhere else, as, you know, for example, like traveling. Yeah, I never use credit cards. Please do not use a credit card. Do not go into debt over luxury. And I know that you're thinking like, okay, what's a credit card? I can just pay it off. You are in debt. Once you swipe your credit card, you are in debt, and you have to pay that back. And that is money that you probably don't have, because why would you put a luxury item on a credit card and if you can just buy it with, you know, cash or with your card? And I understand that some people, you know, it's obvious, like, you know, you do pay off your credit cards and stuff. And I'm not saying, you know, to those people who are able to pay off every single month, I'm not saying that. But when, like, you know, some people are only making payments on, you know, their interest, and they're only making payments on their, like, the lowest amount possible. And I just don't think that it's worth it. I don't think that it's worth it to go into debt over luxury goods. I just don't think you should do it. So yeah, I think that was everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys got a little bit of insight on my mindset and what I think. And I hope that you guys are able to get some tips and tricks on luxury items. I'm sorry if the warmth keeps changing. It's because my camera keeps shutting off, and it's so annoying. But definitely want to get a new camera in the future. I think that's what I want to purchase next, because I'm like buying and buying and buying, and I'm like, I really need a new camera. So anyway, I hope that you guys got a few tips and tricks from this video. I hope that you guys learned a little something. If you did, please leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys are excited to purchase, or, you know, some changes that you guys are making in your spending habits and everything. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.